Hi everybody, Robert Dyer, and welcome to the Robert Dyer channel After Christmas Countdown, where tonight I have a famous Christmas product that I haven't tried since I was a child, and I'm going to try it now after all these years. These are the Brach's Christmas Nougats. They're a familiar sight at the holidays, and unfortunately I cannot find a history of this particular candy. Now, it's the company started in 1904, and it ceased most of its American manufacturing operations in the previous decade. Around 2007, they demolished one of the major buildings of their plant for The Dark Knight when they were filming that. So that gives you an idea of when they shipped most of their jobs to Mexico, which is not something to be proud of, putting all these Americans out of work. But unfortunately, I have to admit that the candy corn that I've tried from companies that made it in America did not have the classic Brach's flavor. So I'm going to try these Christmas Nougats. I'm not really big on a lot of mint candies because mint can be a problematic flavor for me, so I'm hoping there'll be something sweet about these in addition to the mint, and that it will be more of a candy cane as opposed to a medicinal toothpaste type mint, which unfortunately some products tend to veer into. So I want to take a closer look at the packaging, but first I want to go over to our Nightmare Before Christmas Advent calendar and see who's behind the door as we try to catch up. Okay, so let's see what's behind number 22 here, December 22nd. It's like Christmas all over again, only on the Robert Dyer channel. Got a white bag. Let's see who is behind door number 22. Another 0. This one is a sparkly glitter. Hopefully you can see. It's got a glitter type appearance, as well as the pumpkin nose has it also. And I have to say that the texture of the outside of it feels a little sticky. I don't like that. Gives the impression like there's a glue all over that's holding these little bits of glitter on there. But at least, unlike the last one, we can easily see what is distinctive and different about this particular 0. Just want to take a closer look at the packaging here. So you've got the Brach's logo. You have this star, perhaps the one the wise men saw. You have the actual image of the candy here. And you can see the famous design of the Christmas tree in the center, and then the candy cane-like stripes on the outside. Handmade nougat candy. And you've got the snow swirling around. Just the type of night that Santa Claus might be making deliveries. And you have like a ghost of a Christmas tree over here. Let's see if these will open in a civilized manner. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. Well, we were able to do it in a fairly civilized manner. As soon as I open the bag, I'm getting a noticeable hint of mint aroma, peppermint, and one thing they say on the Brach's website is that they use real peppermint oil, which is supposed to give a better flavor. The aroma is it's definitely a good mint aroma, but it's very similar to a after dinner mint you're going to pick up as you leave the restaurant in the 1970s. Let's go ahead and see how it tastes. Bob, I'm down here in your basement, and I've been playing the Sega Master System down here for the last 3 hours. Then I turned off the system to come up to make some pizza rolls, and I noticed that it seemed to be time to update the channel scan for the television. After I did that, I found new channels have appeared. 69.7, 69.8, and 69.9. 69.7 is the tinfoil hat channel. When I turned it on, they were having the definitive investigation, is Bill Hicks Alex Jones? Then I went to 69.8, and it's got some kind of a cartoon network with edgy cartoons with gore and foul language, making it clear this is edgy. This isn't your grandpa's Super Friends, Bob. Then 69.9, it's just a 24-hour loop of Michaela Maroney working out. I'll buy that for $1. Woo! Then as I turned from the television once again to try to go upstairs, I heard a voice behind me.
Phil Rizzuto for the money store.
And suddenly, I turned around, and the Sega Master System Reggie Jackson baseball had somehow turned itself on, and I was back in my childhood with the legendary Phil Niekro on the mound for the Yankees at Yankee Stadium for his 300th win. I looked, and there was Jerry Seinfeld in the stands, but it was like I was suddenly in the batter's box, and there's the windup, and there's the pitch, and the famous screwball coming right at me, just wobbling back and forth like it did in Earl Weaver baseball for the IBM PC. The next few minutes were just a blur of wood paneling and floor tiles as I ran around the basement being chased by this famous screwball. I leapt over a toolbox and dove under a foosball table. I could hear Kramer jeering at me from the television set. There's just no getting away from this screwball. Then suddenly I saw Pickle Rick on the workbench. I picked up Pickle Rick, got a good grip on it, and then I turned around towards that famous screwball, and I turned on it like Josh Double Buffet Dawsey at Golden Corral. Just that short leg kick and a compact swing goes over the outfield wall. I turned around to the stands. I saw Jerry Seinfeld. I saw Donald Trump. I saw Joey Ramone. And then I saw Newman, this postal uniform. He stood up, knocking his tray of food down on Ed Koch. Pick me a winner, Bobby.
Pick me a winner, Bobby.
Well, I'll say that I would describe this as that it was not the worst case scenario I imagined, but it was also not as good as I had hoped it would be. It's definitely not as good as the Brach's candy corn. It does have a pretty nice mint flavor, peppermint, in that it's similar to a candy cane or a York peppermint patty, one of the good mint candies. It also has a texture. It starts off like a sugar daddy or a Tootsie Roll, and it eventually, as it dissolves, it becomes more, I would say, like saltwater taffy. However, to me, this is not what I consider a nougat. A nougat is what's in the middle of a Three Musketeers or Milky Way bar. This is more of a taffy, caramel type texture. So how it gets to be called nougat, I don't know. Maybe it's the old world definition of a nougat. But I think most of us today think about that mysterious, sugary concoction that's in the middle of a number of our most popular American candy bars. And the other important factor I was examining was, would you have, in addition to the mint, will you also have a sugary flavor, some kind of a sweet, it's got egg white in this. What I would consider the ideal would be something that would have a sort of a butter sugar frosting type mixture combined with the mint flavor. That would really make this an exceptional candy, and unfortunately this did not really deliver that. Just a slight hint of sweetness to it, but not enough that I would say I gotta gobble down this whole bag here. I'm not really having a problem limiting my portion of this candy like I would if I had a big bag of M&Ms or Reese's Pieces in front of me here. Forget about it. I gotta try to keep those away from me, or I'll just keep eating and eating them. So I would say this is, I guess, a throwback nostalgia, and perhaps maybe older people have more fond memories of this. I do recall seeing this all my life at Christmas time, but it's not something that greatly appealed to me, and now it appears that my child mind was correct, that this was not really the type of Christmas candy I was looking for, and I was smarter to be reaching for those Reese's Christmas trees and so forth. I'm going to say that this, I'm almost tempted to say 2 stars, because I imagined a flavor that would provide more something interesting than what it did, but I guess that technically it did pretty much meet what it had promised on the package. So it's just going to squeak over the line in terms of that. It's a good mint flavor. It's got a nice texture to it, and it's a decent size, lasts a number of minutes. So you're getting somewhat of your money's worth that way as well. So I'm going to go ahead and it's just barely going to squeak over the line to get 3 out of 5 stars. I wouldn't go running around trying to find this, but it's usually so ubiquitous that you don't have to anyway. So I hope you like this video. Share it with your friends. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Tomorrow on this after Christmas countdown, we're going through January 6th. Bye everybody.